This is a highlight of the Off Topical podcast. Listen for free to the whole episode at offtopical.net. Purism announces the Pure OS store. Every time I talk about purism, I get this like giddy little thing
I can tell
on.
you're grinning right now.
Oh,
you're
dude,
grinning right
I love it. I love purism. I love Pure OS. I love Librem products. Oh my god. So if you guys don't know what we're talking about, there's a company called Purism. They're wonderful. They have ethics. They have a social purpose, and they create hardware and software that respects your freedom. And we love them, don't we, Raven?
Oh yeah.
Hashtag not sponsored. So they actually created a what was it? It wasn't a Kickstarter, but it was like a Kickstarter, a crowdfunding campaign.
They created well, I don't think they used Kickstarter, but they used something similar to it, yeah.
Yeah, it was self-hosted, and they created their own campaign and had this thing called the Librem 5 phone, and it's like a full smartphone that's but it's like the hardware is open source. Am I right about that? Mostly open source?
It's as open as they can possibly allow it
At the moment, yeah.
And then and they're constantly working. I think they're working not like a partnership, but they do work with other companies like System 76 and just about anyone that they can to build like a community of developers who want to make completely open hardware. I think I remember seeing some talk about that. They're working very hard to eventually create a laptop that is just completely open. But not just open as like, this is an open laptop and, it's as fast as something from like 1995. No, it's, they want to build something modern, something sleek that anyone would want to use.
Right. Yeah, exactly. So this device, the Librem 5 phone, is like a rallying call for the company to create like the convergence that we were promised with the Ubuntu phone, but that never actually materialized, right? And one of the things that the Pure OS store wants to do is it wants to realize that convergence between Librem devices. They manufacture laptops. They have a tablet. I think one tablet, right? And they have this phone that's coming out in April. And but the Pure OS store is doing more than just convergence, right? They want to facilitate trust, and they want to promote app development for their platform. And this is just a wonderful thing. So if you haven't, go check out the announcement post here. You'll see what we're talking about. The Pure OS store is going to have badges on each app. And the badge will allow users to make a quick but and also informed decision about the apps that they install on their device. The badges have 5 circles and a star in the center. Each has like a thick black outline. And if the app is conforming to the community values of freedom, privacy, security, and ethical design, then the correlating circle in the badge will be filled with color. And if all of them have, all of the values are observed, then the yellow star in the center is colored yellow. I think that is just truly wonderful. What do you think about this, Raven?
I think it's pretty cool. I also really like the badge idea because at first it's kind of confusing, like, which colors go to what. But I mean, I imagine they'll have some, blog post or something that'll like, tell you what it is, or like you can click on it and it will tell you. And then, it'll just become second nature, a few months on the store, a few weeks on the store, hell, a few days on the store. You'll just be flipping through and be like, this one's good. That one's,
Yeah.
It's great. And, because, like, I don't think there's any way to, like, depending on what you're building, like, you might have to sacrifice something, but at least you'll be able to easily tell people, like, this is what I had to sacrifice, to make this app.
Exactly.
Yeah. And also, too, it's very transparent. It's not like most apps. Like, it's super awesome how on, like, Android or iPhone that, like, I don't know, you download... Remember the joke was, like, you download, like, one of the flashlight apps before Android, for example, just came with it built in?
Right.
Do you remember that? And it would need, like, everything. And you're like, what
access
is an
to
app
your file system, your microphone,
Yeah, and it's like, what? It's like, what?
Yeah, well, the thing is, it's like, you have... if you go on the Android store, right, and you like look through the apps, it's like it needs these permissions, but it doesn't like clarify why it needs the permissions. Like that's up to the developer to actually explain to you. But this is a much more intuitive visual way of like, instead of having a bullet list of permissions that the app needs, it's like a human curating the app and being like, hey, this violates our design principles that are meant to ensure your privacy and your data security. So they don't get to have the little yellow circle here or the little orange circle or whatever the color it might be. They don't get that. So then that's that's going to put the onerous. Is that a word? I don't even know. It's going to put the responsibility on the developer to explain why they are violating the design principle or the whatever principle that they might be violating, and like to actually get people to be like, oh, I'm going to download this app, because otherwise, if it doesn't have all the circles, I don't know if I'm going to want to download the app.
Yeah, I mean, it just depends on what it does too. Certain apps they might not be able to, for example, have like, I guess, depending on what the category is, some apps might need to connect to like a centralized server. Like for example, let's say Discord decides to come to the Pure OS store.
Right.
They might have some of that, but they're not going to have all of it.
Well, one of the things that I like about Purism's design guidelines is that, like, if you have a chat app, like let's say WhatsApp or whatever it might be, Wire, anything, the design guidelines for the Librem 5 phone say that apps shouldn't have their own chat interface. It should all go through a singular monolithic system level chat app. And I think that that's a great idea. Their rationale for it was impeccable, and I'm going to have to pull that up now because I can't remember.
You can't remember what it was specifically?
No, I can't. Yeah, so I don't think I'll be able to find it. But basically the argument was, by having a singular chat application, that your data is in one spot. That it's like the design language is going to be the same. So, if a message has been read or if it hasn't, then that's going to be really important. But if an app like Discord were to come to the Librem store, then I feel like it wouldn't get any of its colored circles lit up. You know what I'm saying?
Probably not. But people would still use it.
Yeah,
but that's fine. At least you're aware.
Yeah, that's the thing that I like about this. It lets you make informed decisions, and it lets you do it fast. Like, you don't have to be like
scrolling around looking for it.
Right, and you can be like, I always know that I'm not going to compromise on a blue circle, whatever the blue circle might be.
Yep.
Like, that's something that's really important to me. So if it's compromised my blue circle, I don't want it. And I think that that's a great idea. It's so cool.
And the best part is the Pure OS store is also coming to desktop, not just the phone. So
exactly,
we can run it on Ubuntu probably, or Fedora, or wherever. So it's Linux stores everyone's making a store now.
This is the only one I'm excited about though, because I really like Librem. I mean Purism, and I really trust their community values, what they called them in this blog post. It's cool. Freedom, privacy, security, and ethical design. Like those are really like the four pillars of what it means to be a Linux nerd, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
From their announcement post here, it says, we envision Pure OS Store as the primary community interface for app developers to contribute to the wider ecosystem without having to understand the underlying technology like packaging or the mechanism for pushing or the mechanism of pushing apps upstream. We want to incentivize developers to create software that meets community values with the ultimate goal of incorporating. Where did that go? It just like glitched out on me. With the ultimate goal of incorporating itself into Pure OS. Yeah, that's really cool. I'm super stoked about this. I can't wait to own a device that I actually own. you know, and that like isn't spying on me all the time. Like I'm super duper stoked for it.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious as to how the Pure OS device will handle convergence, because I've used Ubuntu Phone. I was a big fan of Ubuntu Phone back when it came out, by the way.
Yeah.
I have one of them, just so you know. Like one of the official ones. Yeah, I bought it and had it shipped over here because it was only in like the UK or something initially. I can still connect it to Wi-Fi, but that's about it. And I used it for a while, and I've used it with some other devices, and I have tried the convergence mode. It, in fairness, it does take a little bit of hardware to do.
Yeah.
Because, you're going from like, tiny little, well, it's not even screen size, because some phones do have pretty high res screens, but, it's just more trying to run desktop style applications, which typically need more horsepower. And the Purism phone, it has a bit of CPU power, but GPU, it's pretty weak. So I'm hoping that it'll be able to handle like simple tasks, but we'll see. But the nice thing is like they said, it's also coming to desktop. So like, someone can make it and then, make sure that the app works on the phone and then it works on the desktop. And, that should help boost the number of apps.
Oh, no. Yeah, I agree. I mean, they have libhandy, which is like a GTK extension that allows them to like to create apps that work well with a touchscreen on that form factor. But the idea is that like if you build a GTK app, then and you just give it the style you want in 16:9 and whatever the phone aspect ratio is, then it'll just work. Like that's the thing that's really exciting to me.
Oh yeah, I look forward to making something or some things for Purism. Why did I say some things? I just plan to make stuff for Purism. The phone.
Yeah, I'm very excited about this. Maybe the Linux Game Jam this year will be make something for the Purism Librem 5.
It could be, but I don't think it'll be out in time.
No, yeah, I don't think so. Oh man. What do you guys think about the Librem 5? Are you guys as excited as I am? Let me know. on the forums, forum.heavyelement.io, or send us an email, show@offtopical.net. That was a highlight of the Off Topical podcast. I'd like to know what you think about the video format. Do you want to see more video from the podcast? If so, would you like to see the whole thing as a video? Let me know in the comments. Listen to the full episode for free over at offtopical.net.